for the semi-final round of racing in the Big Mud Shootout. There's $50,000 going to the winner of this Elite 8 car field. We're down now to the final four. Mark Oswald, the defending champion, will be in the near lane of the racetrack. He's there by virtue of his quicker winning elapsed time in round number one. He had a 5:33, while his opponent, John Force, who won this title just a year before Oswald back in 1987, won with a 5:38. That 0.05 of a second difference put Oswald in the position of being able to select his lane. The racetrack itself looks to be impeccable. With the exception of Ed McCulloch, we've not seen any race car have problems negotiating the track or getting traction. The largest crowd ever to view a Big Mud Shootout competition on hand today at sprawling Indianapolis Raceway Park as Force and Oswald roll their cars into those light beams stretched across the starting line to get themselves in the proper position for starter Buster Couch to send them on their way. This is perhaps the most critical moment in the entire race as the drivers get ready to leave the starting line. You saw in the previous round how Force won with a slower elapsed time. And he does it again. He beats Mark Oswald off the starting line and gets to the finish line first. 5:37 at 276 miles an hour. As we look again in replay, you can see Force gain that ever so slight advantage at the starting line. His car moves just a fraction of a second ahead of Oswald's. Then as they went down the racetrack, he continued to keep pace with Oswald, who was trying to claw his way into the lead, but it was not to be. Force's lightning-quick reaction times off the starting line paid off the win over Oswald's quicker 5:36.
Well, John Force is always giving credit to his crew chief, Austin Coyle. Take a little yourself. Today, back-to-back, you have hole-shotted your way in the Big Mud Shootout.
I tell you, he was out the window. I was out, it smoothed around, he's out the window. And I'm thinking, God, I'm talking to myself, what is going on here? It's exciting. Where do we go from here?
You go to the final round.
Waiting to see Snake here. Like I told you earlier, I thought he went to top fuel already.
Good. Oh, he got him again.
There's nothing else to say, as usual.
The whole shot, of course, the drag racing term for gaining an advantage over your competitor at the starting line. Now the last two cars in this semi-final round of Big Mud Shootout competition. It is Bruce Larson challenging Don Prudhomme. Larson, by virtue of the slower elapsed time, got put over in the far lane of the racetrack. Maynard Yanks, his crew, performing that task of arming the second magneto on that Oldsmobile-bodied buddy car. But for Larson, racing in that lane should not be considered a negative. He has just watched John Force drive himself to victory and into the final rounds of this $50,000 shootout. And Larson is certainly considered every bit as quick a driver as is John Force. For Don Prudhomme, he hopes to capitalize on the elapsed time dominance he has shown throughout this event, capped by that incredible 5:17 win in the first round. And Bruce Larson red lights. Prudhomme down track. And engine problems for Prudhomme. A puff of smoke coming out of that car. The time showing a 5:28 elapsed time. His speed only 243 miles an hour, dropping nearly 30 miles an hour from the previous round. Prudhomme turns off the racetrack as Bruce Larson can only coast through and think about what could have been if he had not left too soon. Watch again in replay. You see Larson in the far lane moving long before the tree was ever activated. And then Don Prudhomme gets the green light. Now let's watch as this engine problem develops for Don Prudhomme. You'll see Bruce Larson leave early. He's gone. Now look at the lower left-hand part of your picture. There was the telltale smoke that tipped us off that Don Prudhomme had an engine problem on that winning run that put him into the finals. Let's go to Steve and see if we can find out what happened.
Okay, well, we saw the fire out of the motor of Don Prudhomme, the resulting 5:28 elapsed time. Snake concerned with his hand. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Right before we got ready to come up for the last round, found out we had a header problem. The flanges were broken. They tried to fix it and just stuck it together, and it didn't hold out. It was nothing but that. We lost a header on the right-hand side.
No major engine damage, you don't think?
I don't know yet. It don't look good right now, but I think we can get it back together.
We'll follow that story, Dave.
Steve, there's lots of work facing the Prudhomme crew to get that Pontiac ready for the final round race. Even though the car slowed considerably, Prudhomme still has lane choice over John Force in the finals of the Big Bud Shootout.